What do you see there? What an accomplishment, first off, just to bring back probably the most talented roster in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell you have organizational buy-in, right? That is across the board. People were talking about Tom Brady taking an extension, but the extension actually freed up money.
Yeah.
And I look at all of these quarterbacks taking record deals. And then I look at Tom Brady saying, like, it's a ring thing, right? He has done that throughout his career, taken less money that he could to make sure that organizations were infused with the money that they needed to be able to win championships. And to see that throughout the team carrying through, it shows you that Tampa Bay is on a mission. They're looking to repeat. And you have a lot of players who are going to put the organization, right, and what they can do in terms of cap and maximizing talent first over individual dollar bills. That's very Patriot-esque. That's very dynasty-esque, right? Those are the things that you need for long-term success, to be able to have back-to-backs. And Tom Brady knows it, and it seems like everybody else is drinking his Kool-Aid.
I totally agree with the point about Tom, that it's always been about rings. It's always been about the competition and not necessarily about the money. But how does that impact the rest of the market and the rest of the players that do want to get paid? They want to be that top dollar quarterback. Hey, what is the conversation like within the locker room or within an organization when a guy like Tom Brady, who's the GOAT, is taking less money?
Well, I think it also has to do with the supermodel wife and the amount he makes on endorsements, right? Like, Tom Brady
True.
is in a different stratosphere, right? He can afford to take a little bit less. And he has seen what taking a little bit less does in terms of the longevity of the team and making sure that other guys are getting paid, right? Like, hey, look, if my life is contingent on an O-line blocking for me, yeah, you know what? I would take a little bit of my money and put it there. Like, hey guys, you good? You got enough to eat? Because I don't want the D line to want to eat, right? Like, and so that selfless mentality really speaks volumes to other people in the locker room. And I think that's why you said, like, Shaq Barrett was like, I didn't even look at another team, because another team likely would have been able to give him more money, right? And yet, when you're on a team that will likely win a Super Bowl, guess what? There's win bonuses, there's endorsement deals, there's a lot of other money that comes from being part of a winning organization. And so it really depends on what your mentality is and your focus. Now, you're not going to get pushback from the other guys in the league for a quarterback making his money, because the guys also know, right? NFL stands for not for long. And the truth is that it is not guaranteed. And you may only get that one more contract. And so it is important to maximize what you can do with your time in. But I think at this point in Tom Brady's career, the last thing he needs is a couple more millions. But what he really does want is a legacy that's solidified and unquestioned and can't be duplicated. And that's what you're talking about now, right? Freeing up some cap space, I would do it too if I were him, right? If it made my whole team that much better and it increased the likelihood that we would win again, yeah, for sure.
And I think we're seeing an influence of Tom Brady and the contracts he's taking over guys like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes did sign this massive contract, but when you really look at the fine print and the fine details, he's restructured his contract already this offseason. He's put a lot of the money into the future so that he can keep his guys, right? So we are seeing that influence.